Fire when ready.
No sick people, but it doesn't have a cure like a disease-infected person, because they can spread it. They'll spread it to other people.
Okay, and another one is no communists because because they're against the government and the overthrow our country. And also no anarchists, it's almost the same thing. And 10% of people coming to America must work for 2 years.
And no handicapped people without someone to like watch after them, which includes retarded and mentally ill people.
Okay. The quota is that no more than 500,000 people could come in 1 year, and no more than 35,000 could come in from each country.
Our policy is the SAM Act of 1992. Just in case you're wondering, SAM stands for Sarah, Adrian, and Marlene. Our policy states that 15,000 people from every nation should be allowed to enter the United States a year, but the people that come after will be notified. All the people must pass a literacy test. They must prove that they don't have a criminal record, and they have to pass the medical exam.
Okay. People that don't pass the literacy test will get another chance at a mental ability test. This is to see if they have enough mental ability to learn how to read, if they don't know how, and to support themselves and their family economically.
Any undocumented immigrant or illegal alien that comes into the country by false ID will be sent back to their country unless they're married, have unadopted children, or show that they can support themselves during the time that they came in till the time they got caught, or a year after they came in the country. Refugees will not be sent back to their country.
Okay, now, in any order you choose, you may go at each other. Be sure to include members of the Congress. Go for yours.
Why can't handicapped people be? Why
aren't they allowed?
Yeah, why aren't they allowed to?
Well, see, this is not for all handicapped people. It's for the handicapped people that they have no family there, they have nobody to take care of them there. Then they will be hopeless,
How are you going to determine whether or not this handicapped person can take care of themselves?
What?
How are you going to determine whether or not this handicapped person needs someone to take care of them?
Well, it depends, like.
Can I ask one question? Are people allowed to bring their children to the country?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what if your child is handicapped?
They need someone to take care of them.
The parent will take care of them.
But what happens when their parents
Not
die?
to take care of them, just like watch after them. Like if there's, just like to be able like, some people like they can't cook their own food, they can't get their own food, they can't work, so someone to take care of them.
But
What kind of handicap?
wait. If
They have no arms or.
if their parents or whoever, if they die, what happens to them after? You're just gonna send them back to their country, or are they still allowed to stay?
They're allowed to stay.
But you said that
Well, when you first come in, you need someone to take care of.
but if they still have no arms or anything and they can't cook for themselves, they're gonna have problems with that. And before you had said that they
have to find someone to take care of them.
I think we're making some assumptions here that I'm not so sure as a member of Congress I'm just going to stand by and accept. We're making assumptions that simply because someone has no arms that they can't care for themselves. There was an incident involving childcare in which a woman with no arms in the court changed the diaper of her infant child to win custody of the child. So I mean, we're making some assumptions here that I'm not so sure we can buy into in this sweeping way. I understand why you want to restrict physically handicapped people, but I'm not so sure that I'm ready to do that. Sell me on the idea.
They're people too.
We're not saying that they're not people. We're just saying that some.
You're just saying they're not the kind of people we want in our country.
Oh, so y'all don't want no immigrant
Well, we
handicapped
didn't say
people in
that.
our
We
country.
said that they should have someone to take care of, so that, because they said before that they wouldn't let handicapped people in because they didn't have anyone to take care of them, because they couldn't be able to have a job, or some of them couldn't be able to have a job. It depends on what kind of condition
What
they're
if
in.
they know how to read and write not write, but
And
what
they
if they
could be
know
able
how to
to
read
succeed
and
in the-
speak the language, but they have no arms?
Are you gonna just let that stop them? I mean, is that gonna be the only reason
There
why?
are, and what if they're smart enough to succeed in their job?
They can't, then they come. I'm saying people that are like, I mean, that are in a wheelchair and they're like, and like a whole part of their body is like not working or something. They need someone to take care of them.
This question of a literacy test and mental ability seems to me that that has the same exact effect that their straightforward discussion of handicap does. They're willing to say outright, we don't want handicapped people. Meanwhile, you're trying to pull the same thing on the slide. Well, you know, if you can read and write, well, you know, do you have the mental ability to who decides whether or not they have the mental ability to be able to learn to read or write?
Doctors.
What doctors?
The doctors that are in where they come in, where they enter.
And they have to pass the literacy exam. That's how you.
How about they're not good test takers?
What do you mean? They're not.
Like they're not.
And if they can't take the test, then that proves that they are not smart enough.
No, what we're trying to do. Wait, can I say something?
Yes, if they.
Some people, like
People get nervous on tests.
Yeah.
People get nervous on tests because they know that if they mess up, then they're messed up. So they get nervous.
Can I say we're trying to make it like easier for them. We don't want them to come in and when they find out that they can't read and write and they can't get a job, we're trying to let them know that before they come in and start trying to get jobs.
And if they can't, and if they come to America to succeed, if they can't succeed, then why are they gonna come?
What's the point of just faking them and coming in and then just having them find out that they can't get jobs?
All right, hold on a second. I got something for you. It's like two parts. You were the ones who said you weren't sending refugees back, right?
Right.
Okay, let's say if in their country they had a democracy, right? And they supported an anarchy. Would you send them back then? If they were fleeing to your country and they got persecuted for that?
Because they were anarchists?
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't. They're the ones against the anarchists.
Yeah, but you said that refugees would face no restrictions, and these people would qualify as refugees. She's right, these people would qualify as refugees, and now you're saying that you'd let anarchists come in? You want anarchists coming in here, disrupting our government, overthrowing our government? What kind of sense does that make?
I don't know how many people would vote for anarchists here.
Well, how do you know if they're anarchists? If they just play like an refugee?
They have to prove that they haven't committed any, what was it? It was crime, that they were able to support themselves and that they were living like normal people.
But you said that you ain't sending no refugees back.
Right. But
you didn't say that they had to take the test.
What if it was a murder?
What if 1/3 of a country was? I'm just saying. What if 1/3 of a country was anarchist in a country that had a democracy? You mean if 1/3 of that country came, and you wouldn't send them back at all?
What if he was a murderer in his country? What if he believes in killing?
If they were going to face
If
persecution,
they came to your country, you would send them to another country?
Wait. If they were going to face persecution, if we sent them back, if they were going to face persecution, if we sent them back to their country, we wouldn't do that. Okay?
But what if
You would send them to
wait a
states that
second.
they would be
Then
safe.
what if they get power and they take over the American government, huh? And you're facing persecution.
What if he was a murderer in his country? Would you let them go like that? Then they would think it's all right to kill people in the United States also.
No. Because we said they have to prove that. And we said that in order to say that they had to prove that they had not committed a crime once they've gotten here.
I got a problem with this. You're saying they won't be sent back. Let's say they're facing persecution in their country, but you bring them here just to lock them up?
No, if they
And have people spend their tax dollars on these people that were facing persecution, came to mess your country up, and you put them in your jail, and I'm spending money for anarchists. I don't think so. No.
If they're criminals, it's their fault. It's their fault.
Defend yourself.
If they're criminals, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's not our fault that they have criminal crime, and they will be sent to jail.
Okay, the question is this. If they're, wait, hold on, Manny. The question is this, okay? If they're criminals, right, why bring them in just to put them in jail? Why not leave them in their own country? Why not, hold on, let me finish. Why not just leave these criminals in Czechoslovakia?
They bring them in. They chose to come because
Yeah, but we let them in. Why
If
let?
we lock them in, Ricky, because then if
Why?
we just leave them going around, they'll kill people in other countries.
What do we care about whether or not people are getting murdered in Czechoslovakia? What do we care? Why should I care about whether or not there are murderers loose in Czechoslovakia? The United States is not the world police. You know, we're not the world police. We don't run around the globe arresting every criminal on the planet. If the Czechoslovakians can't handle their own criminals, that's their problem.
Get off of me! I don't want to.
Sanders does all the work. I don't care, but we beat Washington. How you know that? I know. You can't post the